Happy Money Monday. I hope you're doing well. This is your boy Ronnie. If you're new to the page and new to the group, welcome again. Money Mondays is a time where we just kind of talk about things pertaining to real estate wholesaling and the financials of that. So what I want to talk about today, I'm getting ready to head over to one of the more stressful, difficult, tough parts of the business, and that is an eviction. Evictions, it's a horrible, emotional, sad thing, but it is also part of the business. And it is something that obviously does cost money. I know in, this environment still kind of dealing with COVID-19 and restrictions and different things like that, kind of affect that cost and maybe how long people can get into properties before they can, turn and do their thing. But what I want to get to, as far as eviction goes, us being wholesalers or wholetellers and kind of being that middleman in between. My question to you, and something that you always want to make sure that you're doing is, how well have you worked out the agreements and the understanding with the tenants that are there, or sometimes even the homeowners that are there, to make sure that everyone's on the same page, when they are vacating, so that you can avoid, some of these issues that happen, so that might go on to the end investor. It's a really it doesn't necessarily have to be tough, but you definitely have to make sure that you have that same page meeting, that same page understanding with them, to make sure, and also put it in writing in your purchase agreements, because one of the things that's happening now when you're dealing with a lot of these motivated sellers, what's really coming down the pipeline, or what's one of the biggest motivations, is the fact that maybe their tenant isn't paying, hasn't paid, or maybe just kind of slow to pay, and then they're kind of just tired of dealing with those tenants. So you want to make sure, number one, that you have that meeting with that tenant or the homeowner to make sure you have the understanding of what's going on. Number two, the other thing you want to do is make sure that you put those things in writing. Where do you put it in writing at? Put those things in the purchase agreement, in the additional agreement section. So whether you're having an escrow agreement, or just agreeing that it's going to be vacant at close, or an agreement, that maybe, that the tenant can stay month to month, or maybe they're on a lease before, whatever it is. But you want to make sure that you smooth those things out, and that everyone knows exactly what's going on. You as the wholesaler, you as also the tenant that is there, or the owner that is there, and then also too for your end buyer, so that they don't have to deal with the headache. I can't tell you how many times I've talked to investors that got property in the contract, and what's their biggest thing? The wholesaler didn't let me know what was going on. I've made this mistake before. I want to be clear about that, but you want to make sure that you do everything you can in order to make sure everyone's on the same page, so that you don't have to run into these evictions, these big nasty scenes, emotional. I've watched little kids have to be taken out, and I hate it. But it's your responsibility to make sure that everyone's on the same page, so that things can go as smooth as possible. And then the other thing is, you also want to make sure that you verify the vacancy. Verify exactly what's going on. If the property is supposed to be vacant, but then when you show up to the property, maybe your end investor shows to the property, there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9 people there, and you're trying to figure out, hey, what's happening? Again, this has happened to me. But what does that do? That messes with the reputation, messes with the trust. What's going on? Can people take your word? Did you verify? Did other people come in after you verified it? What's happening? Is it squatters? But just make sure you have all that information, know what's going on, so that you can cut, number one, the time down that the end investor has to be able to get in and start their process. But then also, two, help with your reputation. People being able to know, hey, he said it's vacant, it's good. Or the tenants is staying, okay, it's good. So that's what I wanted to talk with you about today on Money Monday. You guys have a great one, and we'll see you next week.